Coming up on News 8 at 6:30, a warning for cruise lovers how COVID is now impacting the industry. And new year, new laws. We take a look at how grocers are now putting a dent in food insecurity. And a good news update for you, how our community came together to support a local vet. The news starts right now.
This is News 8 at 6:30.
2022 is starting off with an unprecedented surge in COVID cases across America and right here in San Diego. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Kirsten Holmes. Steve Price has the night off. The U.S. has seen a staggering 201% increase in new cases just over the last 2 weeks. Hospitalizations are now starting to rise. Those are up 25%. Now the number of deaths is down slightly to around 1,200 a day, but that is also expected to rise. And it is a similar story here in San Diego. The county's last update on Thursday showed that there was a record number of new cases, just under 6,000. Hospitalizations are also on the rise here, jumping 16% from yesterday to today. And despite those record case numbers, a strong warning from the CDC. Cruise ships filled with passengers are coming and going from San Diego. Regina Ahn has more on how the cruise industry and passengers are responding.
On most cruises out of U.S. ports, almost all crew members and passengers need to be vaccinated, wear a mask, and most require a negative COVID test. Experts say cruise liners are taking this seriously and trying their best to control and plan for each cruise.
Anticipate that there's a good possibility that you will be tested midway through the voyage, because there are certain ports that are not allowing ships to come in until they know for sure that everyone has been tested and that there is no virus on the ship.
David Swanson is the past president of the Society of Travel Writers. He's been on several cruises and explains while there's a slim chance of getting COVID on a cruise liner, the CDC recently categorized going on cruises a level 4 risk or high risk of getting infected.
The cruise industry has really prepared for this moment. Maybe not this specific moment with Omicron, but they've been preparing for the moment to go back to sea for many, many months and looking at ways to mitigate and protocols that they can put into place quickly to keep the virus at bay.
Swanson suggests if you plan on going on a cruise, you can keep yourself protected by getting boosted, adding on that added layer of protection from the Omicron variant. He also adds plan on wearing a mask in all public indoor and outdoor settings.
The cruise industry really knows its industry is at stake here. Its future is at stake. And I think that they've really ironed out a lot of good protocols to keep the variants, to keep the virus at bay and to keep it off the ship as much as possible. That doesn't mean it's not possible to get COVID when you're on a ship.
Regina Ahn, News 8.
And it was a picture-perfect day to kick off 2022, but will those rainy days return? Meteorologist Sean Stiles is here with a first look at that microclimate forecast. Hey, Sean.
Good evening, Kirsten. Happy New Year to you and all of you folks out there in TV land. We made it through 2021. Now it's time to deal with 2022, and at least we're starting off on a dry foot here. We've got plenty of rain in the bank. Taking a look at the actual rainfall total compared to where we should be about a ½ inch above. Today's high 64, 66. It looks like this dry pattern is going to stick around, but we've got an interesting situation here. We've got a frost advisory over much of the inland microclimates and into the foothills, also into the deserts, a freeze warning out in around the Brawley area, the Salton Sea, and then along the coastline, because of these king tides, we have a possibility of coastal low-lying flooding because of the strong tidal surge coming in the early morning hours. So this king tide is when the moon, the earth, and the sun all align. Look at how high the tide is tomorrow morning, a 7.8, and then on Monday a 7.7. So we're talking about some big high tides. Low-lying areas around South Mission, La Jolla Shores, up in the North County, and also down in the South Bay. Ignore the New Year's. That's for today, or tomorrow, obviously. And as far as what we're talking about here, we're looking at a pretty nice weather pattern heading our way. We'll have your 8-day microclimate forecast in just a bit.
All right, thank you for that, Sean. And just into the newsroom, a person is in the hospital and at least one Claremont family is without a home tonight after an apartment fire. It was reported a little after 4 in a first-floor apartment at a complex on Caminito Aguilar, just off of Genesee Avenue. We're told 4 adults and 2 children all got out, but we don't know the age of the person who was hurt. We're working to get more information, and we'll bring that to you tonight at 11. And tonight, San Diego police are looking for the man who pushed another man into an oncoming train, killing him. It happened around 6:15 this morning at the Old Town Trolley Station. Police say 2 men got off the southbound train and then got into an argument with another man. That's when one of them pushed the man into the side of a passing freight train. The victim, a man in his 60s, died there at the scene. The suspect is described as a lighter-skinned man, around 5'8", with a thin build and wearing all black clothing. Call Crime Stoppers if you have any information. And we have an update for you tonight on some good news. North County veterinarian says she finally got her Christmas miracle. This after her medical truck she uses to treat sick horses was stolen on Christmas Eve. A family found it in Escondido days later, parked outside of an apartment complex. CBS 8's Heather Hope caught up with the overjoyed vet and has more on the story.
Yes, just days after Jolene Elston's work truck filled with all her medical equipment was stolen from her garage in Fallbrook, she is elated. Someone spotted it in Escondido, and sheriff's deputies have already made an arrest.
If they could please just leave it in there and turn it over.
On Christmas Day, Fallbrook veterinarian Jolene Elston pleaded for help in finding her stolen medical truck. She says thieves broke into her garage on Christmas Eve as it was raining and made off with her 2016 Dodge Diesel 2500 filled with all her medical tools she uses to treat horses. She put the call for help on Facebook, and the day after Christmas, someone saw her truck parked at an Escondido apartment complex.
It was dumped pretty quick, and it kind of sat there for a couple days, but we did get it back Sunday night and towed it home and got some new keys made.
Her work truck is back home and looks good as new.
It's great to have my truck back in one piece. I'm happy, but I'll never forget that image of my garage being empty.
But inside the trunk, all Jolene's medical supplies stolen.
The diagnostic tools, ophthalmology kit, my x-ray ultrasound, dentistry equipment, a lot of little handheld blood readers, things like that.
She's grateful her medications and vet pack were found, but she's out of $150,000 worth of equipment. So 2 clients started a GoFundMe that's already raised nearly $40,000.
So amazed by the outpouring of support. It's breathtaking to see that many people being that generous.
As for the thieves who stole Jolene's truck, the San Diego County Sheriff's Department made 2 arrests.
That sound like that they were transient people that had used to live in our area, and they had done a lot of really brazen crimes.
Despite living on a gated property, Jolene and her husband will now add security cameras just 2 months before they expect their first child. She says she learned one of the burglars had a gun.
I'm just glad that I didn't see them because I was out in the garage working. I just am happy to be healthy and well and safe.
Heather Hope, CBS 8.